Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah, if you didn't know, and I have recently read 2 new releases that are both Sapphic, which is my favorite type. And I have vlogged the process of me reading them so that you can see my reading experience and my thoughts throughout. And then in like 10 minutes time, I will pop back in, give my final thoughts, and tell you whether or not you should read them. So let's just get straight into it. That was a poor choice of words for this video. Straight into it for this video. Ha! This is what we call humor, folks. Let's just start the video. I started reading One Last Stop last night. I got only about 42 pages into it. I'm once again reminded that I love Casey mcquiston's writing style. It's just fantastic. When it comes to romance storylines, I do usually prefer slow burn. I don't think this is that because they've already met and August already seems to be planning their wedding. But Subway Girl seems cool. I might also fall in love with her by the end of this. August is interesting. I'm excited to learn more about her as a main character. And that's kind of all I have to say for now. I'm hoping I'm going to get time to read it today because I have a dance practice. I feel like I'm always vlogging when I have a dance practice. But I'm doing TXT, No Rules, not New Rules. They have a song called New Rules and then they have a song called No Rules. It's very confusing. And if you know me, I love dancing to TXT. So I'm very excited for this practice. That's it. I'll see you soon. I am about 34% into One Last Stop. It is very cute. Jane is... We're getting into the mystery part of it now. Mystery? See, I don't want to say anything too much because I feel like I need to stop reading the blurbs of books because it would have been so much better if I hadn't known what this book was kind of about. It says it on the blurb. If you want to read this book, don't read the blurb. It spoils something that I think would have been much better kept a surprise, but we're getting into that whole portion of it, which is very interesting. It's interesting to see how it's not magic. It's like, if you guys have seen the movie or the TV show Frequency, you'll get the vibe. But we're getting into the kind of plot of the train. I really don't want to spoil it. I really think it's better left as a surprise, so I'm not going to say much about that. If you have read Red, White and Royal Blue, you'll know that Casey mcquiston included like some little pieces of history into the book. For Henry and Alex, it was usually like in their emails. They'll include quotes from historical figures or poems and things like that. This book is beginning to do something similar with the queer liberation movement in the 70s and adding in little pieces of either essays from that or just little references, like for example, the pink triangle that Jane wears as a badge on her leather jacket. So I'm really liking that. I think that's really, really great to include that part of queer history in the book. And I just love Casey mcquiston's writing. Like, I think it's just so fun and quirky, and the way that the characters talk in this book is pretty much exactly how me and my friends talk. I also really like her roommates. I think they're so cute. And the drag queen that lives next door who goes by Annie Depressant. Bro, I laughed on the train when I read that. August is a very interesting main character. I'm kind of still trying to figure out her whole vibe at the moment, but I think she and Jane seem to be very different, which I like in a romantic relationship. I like reading stories about very different people coming together. I'm gonna go drop off some books at the library now. My arm is getting tired from holding my phone. I'm dropping off Shadow and Bone, which I did a reading vlog for, which you can have a look at. It was a time, let's just say that. And then I also read the 3rd book in the Simon & Snow trilogy this month. This is kind of my least favorite book in the trilogy, but I still enjoyed it. It shouldn't be this long. But I am so sad that I have to let Simon, Penny and Baz go. I'm just really sad that like I won't get to see a new book with them again. And look, the Carry On / Simon Snow trilogy, whatever you want to call it, isn't like necessarily groundbreaking or like the best magical realism fantasy book ever, but I really, really like the characters. Even Agatha. Crazy. I hated Agatha in the first 2 books. I didn't nearly fall asleep reading her chapters in this one. I liked Agatha in this book, but Simon, Baz, and Penny will be characters that I will keep in my heart forever. But anyways, that was a side ramble, and let's get on with this reading vlog. So I finished One Last Stop and it was very cute. Words cannot describe how much I love Casey McQuiston's writing, okay? I don't think you understand. It's like every line that they write is so carefully thought out. Like every line means something. Every line has a purpose. That's what it feels like. It feels like I'm reading art, but like relatable art, like funny art. That's like actually relatable and not just trying to be. I really love how everything came together in the end. All these little plots that seemingly didn't go together suddenly all fit together, and it's like, wow, okay. No spoilers, no spoilers. But the thing with like the missing person, when it was revealed how that happened or went about, oh my god. That was the thing that made me the most emotional in this entire book. Even more than like the romance and the ending and all that stuff. That, in terms of the characters, her roommates are hilarious. I love them. The people that she works with at that pancake restaurant, adorable. Jane, I thought was really cool. She is so cheesy, but like, I kind of love it. I also really liked August. I thought she was a really interesting character. She's not like my favorite main character I've ever read, and like I didn't absolutely fall in love with her like I did with some of the other characters, but still I thought she was really interesting, well written, and I feel like there are lots of people who can relate to her. While this is just really fun to read, I mean, it's a romance, it's got like fun mystery elements, it's also just like a really real and grounded story about August and her friends. And that's what I love about Casey McQuiston's writing. Like, I'll say it again, it's because the characters that they write they can be like funny and have quirky moments and be a bit out there. Her roommates are very much out there, but I love it. But all of them seem to be really grounded and likable. I don't know if there is a character in here that you could hate. Like, even if you don't love them all, you will probably like them all. Something that I really, really appreciated in this book, like I was saying in my last update for this, is the queer history that's bled throughout it. If you think about it, there are going to be a lot of younger, newly out queer people who are reading this book. And what a great opportunity to educate them on our history. There's a paragraph or two in here, I don't think I can find it, but it does talk about like a lot of the struggles that queer people had to go through, but also the vibrant culture of it at the time. It's such a great way to juxtapose the amazing things that queer people were doing to be seen, to be accepted, and what happened in amongst their own communities and how beautiful it was, with the absolute tragedy that came with being a queer person in the 70s. And in that paragraph, if I can remember, they talked about the upstairs lounge, they talked about the beginning of the AIDS pandemic and how the government basically just completely ignored it and let queer people die. And I thought it was done so well. It was so beautifully put. So I think the author did a really great job of kind of bleeding parts of that through so that it's not just a fun read or a relatable read, but it's actually educational as well. And it really does add to the depth of the story and the depth of Jane's character, because can't say that, that's a spoiler, but this is very cute. To be honest, it wasn't my favorite romance I've ever read. I'm not big on like the whole love at first sight thing, and while this is fairly slow burn, August does fall in love with her like the first time she sees her, which like, I get it girl, I get it, it's Jane, but just not really something that I usually like to read, but I still really enjoyed this one and I would definitely recommend it. And the author is coming out with another book next year, which I am very excited to read. It sounds really good. But yes, go read this. Apologies for the lighting in this clip. I swear it was sunny 30 minutes ago. The next book that we will be reading for this reading vlog is Malice by Heather Walter. I am already quite far into it. And no, I didn't talk to you when I first started reading this because I am the worst at this. I was excited, okay? This book is a Sleeping Beauty retelling from the point of view of the Maleficent character whose name is Alice. And of course, it's Sapphic. I honestly haven't actually read that many fairy tale retellings, which kind of surprises me. I don't know, I guess it's just not really something that I'm drawn to very often. You know what? I'm blaming Disney and their stupid live action remakes for the fact that I am a little bit over fairy tales at the moment. But Maleficent is always a character that I like, and although I wasn't a massive fan of the like animated Disney Sleeping Beauty growing up, Maleficent? Yes. In the story, all of the princesses in the royal bloodline, which includes Aurora, have been cursed by this villa, kind of like a dark fae, to die when they turn 21 if they have not yet had the kiss of their true love. And then of course you have the Graces, who in this book are actually humans, but they've been blessed with the powers of the fae so that they each have a unique ability. Obviously some are beauty graces, some are wisdom graces, you get the gist. But Alice is a dark grace and she's the only one. Her powers aren't to make people beautiful or make them wise. They're basically powers of destruction. And this is something that Alice really has a hard time dealing with, because not only is she kind of taught that she's this creature that is dangerous and destructive no matter what, she can't change that, but she also receives a lot of mistreatment from the other Graces and basically everyone around her. And poor Aurora literally has to kiss so many guys to try and ensure that she literally doesn't die. But of course, none of them are her true love. And I wonder who her true love could be. That is basically the gist of the story so far. I'm finding it really easy to get through. It's quite an easy read. I will say there is a lot of info dumping in the first couple of chapters of this book. I wasn't a massive fan of that. I mean, I think the world is interesting. I'm really interested to hear about the Fae and the villa. That's super cool. But it kind of feels like the author's telling us that and not really showing us, which I'm not a massive fan of. But I'm really excited to see what Alice does with these new powers she's uncovered. And like, maybe she'll go a little bit evil. I think that'd be fun. So I'll let you know how I go. We're gonna be turning on the purple lights tonight in honor of this book. I'm wearing purple today for my girl Alice, Malice Alice. Am I okay? Let's talk about Malice, because I just finished it. And this is like only the second update that I'm giving you about it. Sorry about that. This week I was also filming my graphic novels video where I read a different graphic novel every day for a week. And that took up a lot of my reading time. So basically I read like nearly half of this, and then I just like barely read it for a week. And then in the last 2 days after I finished making that graphic novels video, I read the rest of it. So I didn't really have a moment to update you guys, but I've finished it now and let's talk about it. Overall, I really enjoyed this one. Alice is a really well-written character. I really like her. As a reminder, Alice is the Maleficent character in this, and I thought she was really well written. Her struggles with feeling like this disgusting, vile creature amongst this kingdom of these beautiful graces was very real. I really felt it. Because Alice had to endure just the worst mistreatment. The way that the other characters treat her is like vomit inducing. It's disgusting. And so when she finally kind of unlocks her powers and starts to enact revenge on these people, yes, it's not morally right, but there's like a little inkling in your brain where it's like, yeah, girl, get it. No, I kid, but it was really interesting to see how that played out. The light versus dark. Alice, who isn't a bad person, slowly turning into kind of the monster that everyone thinks that she is. But all the while, she is such a likable character and a well-written character, in my opinion, that you can't help but love her despite her villainy. And you really want what's best for her, but it's really difficult to figure out what's best for her when the morally right thing to do is the thing that's keeping her in this horrible place, and the morally wrong thing to do is the thing that could finally set her free. It's a lot, and I do not envy this character. I feel really bad for her. In my last update, I said that the first couple of chapters in the book were very heavy on the info dumping, and it was more told in like a telling, not showing way, which I really wasn't enjoying. But after a lot of the world's lore has been established, the writing, in my opinion, improved significantly. I think the last 50% of this book, maybe more, was written really well. I was really invested in Alice and her story and what was going to happen next. And of course, the whole villain being the one to break the curse thing is a really cool idea. I really like that. I did like Aurora's character. She's like a strong woman type of character. I am a sucker for strong princesses who like to speak their mind. But if you are reading this, just keep in mind that most of the book, Aurora and Alice are not hanging out with each other. While the romance in this is a significant part of the plot because, you know, the whole thing is about breaking Aurora's curse, it is definitely way more about Alice's character and her fight between light and dark. So if you like stories where the villain is the main protagonist, definitely recommend this one. This is also, I think, Heather Walters' debut novel, if I'm not mistaken, so I'm excited to see what she writes next, and I definitely want to pick up the next book, which I think is called Misrule, because this is a duology, especially after that ending. Bro, what the heck? What was that ending? Cliffhanger? Hello? So that concludes this video of reading 2 Sapphic new releases. I definitely recommend both of them. This one is probably better if you like more slice of life type romance. It's very fun, quirky, and very queer. And then I recommend this one if you're more into fantasy or fairy retellings or a good old villain story. And that is it. So if you like this video, give it a like so that I know you liked it, and leave a comment telling me, number 1, your Sapphic novel recommendations, please. I need more. And number 2, if you have read either of these, let me know your thoughts on them. And that is all. I'm going to go. So, oh yeah, subscribe. Please, that'd be nice. Thanks. Be sure to subscribe for some more book content, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye. This is so flowy. I'm kind of in love with it. Why don't I wear this more often? Makes me feel like a villain. Am I okay?